Hi everyone, it's Judy. Welcome back to Rose Lane and my very messy desk. I've been away for a little while. I am so terribly sporadic because of work and other things that sometimes, health things, I kind of get caught up in other stuff and I don't get a chance to get back down. Now, that being said, I don't get a chance to get back down and do any kind of filming of substance for any real reason. But I do get down sometimes for 5 minutes or 10 minutes and maybe I'll clean up something, not my desk, obviously. If you could see this, I've got like this much space right here. Everything else is full. But I may print some new digitals. I've been trying to put those away. I've still got boxes I can't identify. And I mean boxes that I can't identify. So that's going to take like years. Maybe by the time I retire, I'll get that one straightened out. But I come down and maybe I'll, work a little bit on a tag or put a piece of lace on something. I might be down here for 5 or 10 minutes. So I haven't done a video, but I have done a little bit of stuff behind the scenes. So I really don't remember where I left off with you guys. I've got some stuff stuffed in here. I'm going to try to work on that with you today. These are the signatures. Now, this is the second signature. Over here, let me move some of this stuff. This was the first signature. Now, I know that I added this, and maybe this, I don't know, and maybe this, I don't know, since I was with you last. I had stenciled all of these pages in here. I added this, I put this in here. I don't know that I got to anything else much in this one, but I had stenciled all the blank pages in here. Now, that being said, I still may go back and put something on some of these pages. I just never know with me, but I'm pretty sure I've gotten, well, maybe not. Looks like I can still, maybe. I wanted a lot of blank pages in here. I want a lot of journaling space. I don't know. No, there's something else in here. I may be okay as far as elements in here, but I still may go back. I did finish this. This was the center fold piece. I hate when I say that. The center piece for the first journal. And so we have a pocket here and there's a pocket here, which I think I did not do with you guys, and a pocket here. And then this opens here, so you have journaling space here. I did glue this down, and this is why I don't like working with washi. I have it, but it never sticks. And I did glue it, but I may have used the Fabri-Tac. I don't know. I can't remember what glue I used. But, I just figured most of the time if I make hinges, I make it out of paper. But I have all this washi. I have a drawer full of it, and this was the one I was using here. And sticking on here, but it didn't want to stick there. So anyway, it's got a little tag here, and I put these little lace crochet type flowers on here. This is actually a dragonfly brad, as you can see, and so this is a little tuck spot, so I'm not sure what I'm putting in there yet. I left these unbacked so that they wouldn't be too bulky, but they open so you can write on them there and you can write on them there. So that's what I did with that. Then on the other side here, I made, and this one's sticking, look at that. I just made a belly band over here, but I haven't made a tag yet for it. I struggle sometimes with, I struggle all the time with a lot of background paper and not a whole lot of ephemera if I'm doing a lot of things and I kind of run out of ephemera maybe. I came up with something. I'm liking how this looks. Doesn't this look so pretty with the green on that page and then this? So pretty. Anyway, okay, let me put that aside. So this is what I came up with. Well, we'll get to that one. Let me close this. let me just show you what I've done here. I may put these flowers on with some leaves. I believe it was the pocket with just this little kind of pom-pom lace here. I added, this is gonna go on the page, I think. I added some brown lace here. When I flipped it over to see if I had lined it up, I realized I had only backed this on white, probably either 28 or 32 pound copy paper, because I meant it to be a pocket, and then I made it a tag. So I backed it with this. Now I have a whole bunch of this that I had crinkled up and tea dyed like, I don't know, 2 years ago. And I was like, I don't really like it, but I don't want to throw it away. Well, now I found a place where I can use it. I can use it to back like grungy tags, which I kind of like. So, and you saw the stenciling, I believe. So that went in here. I made this tab. This was just white from some scrap. When I have scrap paper that's big enough, I just pop out, you know, some of these that's plain. This is ink. The ink in the middle is the wild honey, and then the spiced something around the edge, and then a little bit of the vintage photo. So, and then I just stitched this bit of cheesecloth down because I thought it needed something out here. Now, that being said, I wanted to put the butterfly on, and I think I'm going to put him on the paper. So let me just go ahead, do that, try to get his edges. I wasn't going to use butterflies. I was just going to use dragonflies and the fairies, but I was like, you know, I need something else besides just dragonflies and fairies. So I decided to use the butterflies. So that being said, I'm going back and putting butterflies in a lot of places. I have these big butterflies that I never use. I see people use them, but I never use them. And I think for me, probably, until I get like a little more clever, I think what it is they, I know there's one on the desk here somewhere, but I can't find it. No, that's not one. I'll just take a new one. I have them up in a rack. I pull them out of the package, the wipes, and I have them tucked in the framework of shelving over here. And I just keep a whole bunch of them up there. And when I need a new one, I just pull it down. It's already dry. I thought the big butterflies looked more botanical. And since this book was kind of more botanical, and I don't really do botanical, so this is a stretch for my imagination as well. So, okay, so we did that. So I showed you those and where that is leading. I still have to stencil these pages, and I'm also thinking that I'm going to ink. I was trying not to, but I just can't seem to help it. So this is my idea. I had this big butterfly, and I thought, oh, that'll look so pretty on there, but if I put a tag in the side tuck, it's gonna kind of cut them off. So I was like, well, why don't I just make them a tag? And then I was like, why don't I make it out of the same paper? So this is my plan. Let me find, okay, I cut a piece that's gonna go in here. This is just copy paper. You can see I've already tucked it in to see if it fit. So I'm going to put that in here. And then I'm gonna put another long, narrow one here and another card. And then I'm gonna put the butterfly on the card. And I thought that would be really neat. And if I put on here, and even on the other card, but maybe not, the same lace, I thought that would be really cool. So that's gonna be our first project. We'll see how far I get with all of this. So just let me move this to the side. I'm so excited. I refilled my ink today. Not my ink. I do that all the time. I call my glue ink and my ink glue. Oh my gosh. Getting old is tough. Ay, ay, ay. But anyway. So it is Saturday for me. I'm hoping we've got a new internet carrier. I guess you call them carriers. I'm not that crazy about it. I'm way down in the basement. And the modem, I guess, if that's what you call them, whatever it is that gives you the internet, is way upstairs because they recommended you get it as high in your house as possible, I guess, to avoid interference. So it's way upstairs. So technically I'm in the basement. There's one small level and then another small level and then the main level and then upstairs. So, and me in the basement. So you can tell there's a lot of stairs in this house. A lot of stairs. And I've been told that it's the way they build houses in many cases in Western Pennsylvania, but I guess because of the terrain. All news to me. But in any case, I find that I have more trouble down here trying to get the internet. So I have learned, because I think the last couple times I did try to put a video up once or twice, it just wouldn't go up. It was all night long, 12, 14 hours, and it's like still processing. You know, we're still uploading. It's like, this is ridiculous. And I would cancel it, and finally it would go through, and when it would go through, it would go through quickly like I expected. So I think it depends on where I am in the house. So if I don't start to try to upload a video to YouTube while I'm here in the basement, I think it goes faster. I don't know, because these things boggle my mind. I am not a computer age person. I'm just kind of jumping on the bandwagon because that's what you do, you know, these days. But I'm certainly no computer whiz. So I'm just pushing the glue out to the very edges as much as I can. And then I go along the edge with my fingernail and sort of try to seal it down so it doesn't get in the way. So now, will I put something on here? I may. I don't know what. I don't know. So I'm going to cut this by hand, and I'll tell you why, because a lot of times when I try to cut this on the cutter and the glue is right at the edge of the paper, it tears it. My guillotine cutter gets caught in it. My little like slide, I'm not sure what you call it, the little cutter that slides, that tears up the paper because it's damp because of the glue. So I either have to let it set to the side and dry while I work on something else, and then half the time I can't find it or forget about it, or I can just cut it out by hand. So for right now, we're just gonna cut it out by hand. And I go slowly because I oftentimes have a hard time seeing where I am. So that being said, I think this is gonna be too small. Yeah, that one will be too small. So let me put that back here. And we'll pull out another piece. This got rumpled somehow, probably in my last move, but that's okay, they flatten out. So I'm not gonna worry about that. So I'll put that there. Okay, ink. I've got to unbury everything. Oh, that's my wipey thing. I want that. Definitely want that. Okay. Let's get this, and we will ink this up. Don't need a lot of ink. And again, I'm gonna just here, look at the pretty butterfly. I'm gonna do this off camera because I get those little chunks of brown sponge that get all over everything. So I try to do it over my garbage can as much as possible. You may be hearing my washing machine and dryer going in the background because it's Saturday, and that is what I do on Saturday all day long. I do laundry, clothes, I do towels, I do sheets. So it's my Saturday. But in between loads, I try to get over here and get something done. So I've been getting a lot of new digitals lately, just really beautiful. Okay, let's see. I don't know how I'm going to decorate this yet, so let me just bring this over. I'm going to put this in here. I'm thinking about maybe doing that. All right, I'm going to, I need a pencil. Here's one back here behind my cup of very cold tea. I'm gonna bring it in about here, I think. Let me cut that down. Put that to this side. Get my little cutter here. It fits on my table. Especially fits on my table when it's full of stuff. Okay, that's good. Put that little scrap. Over here I have, you know, in the office you have those stackable trays for your papers. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those, and I keep scraps from, you know, paper that I'm cutting things out, and some basic card stock that I would back things with and things like that. That's what I keep over here, so it kind of keeps it in some sort of a, all right, some sort of a order for me. All right, I'm thinking, all right, I'm gonna say about there, okay? Just measuring with my butterfly where I think I want him to go. All righty, let's go ahead and do this. And then we're gonna cover this card with the paper, okay? I do try to throw out some smaller scraps because I have collected far too many of them. Every now and then I do a little something with them, but I just don't get the time. All right, I'm gonna cut this piece. Let me cut this piece. All right, I actually need my bigger cutter for this. Let me get that down here. It kind of hangs off the end of my desk, but the other cutter won't cut the 12 inches. So I'm going to cut, no, I'll go ahead and do that. Because the vintage photo does match this digital part, so I just sort of try to mimic it on the sides where I don't, you know, when I cut out from the whole paper, I can kind of mimic that. Okay. And now this is a little bit heavier. This paper, this was a 32 pound, where some of the rest that I had printed on, I had printed them a while back and they were on regular 20 pound. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do this. Okay. I should have watched my regular clock to see what time I started this. I don't want to go too long, but I really wanted to try to get something significant done. So I hope everybody is enjoying their summer. Summer has finally hit us out here. It's been very, very cool. There's a couple of days earlier in the springtime when it was specifically really hot, and but it, you know, just a day. We've had a lot of rain, so it's been, we gotta try to keep this, I'm trying to press it down but keep it from sliding too, so it's kind of fun. But yeah, we've had a lot of rain these past few weeks, which was good because we didn't have a lot of snow, apparently, according to the locals this year. Last year was much worse. I'm just trying, because I'm trying to make sure that where it's rippled, you know, where the cardstock is kind of rippled and bent, that it's sticking. So apparently our water table levels were pretty low. And we started out having some rain earlier in the spring, and then nothing. It didn't necessarily get really hot, but we'd go for, you know, a couple of weeks, maybe, and, you know, not having any rain. Did I say snow? Rain. And my husband is walking above me. He must have went upstairs, because the stairs are right there. And so anyway, it was definitely springtime, and but not a whole bunch of rain. Now we've been getting rain, and all of a sudden when July hit, we've been getting hot, humid weather. Just like somebody flicked a switch. All right, that should do it. I know I'm taking extra time with that, but I wanted to make sure that that was all. I don't really have to worry. There's a little bit of glue on there, but butterfly's gonna go on there. So yeah, it's getting really, really hot now. Really hot and humid. So, but that's okay. For me, I'd rather it like this than snow. I am definitely not a winter person. And I know I've said that before. Trying not to get too close to the camera, but I kind of can't help it. If I keep it too low, I'm not cutting in the right place. Okay, there we go. Put that to the side. Cover my glue. So my husband and my brother-in-law have been out since relatively early today, mowing before it would get too hot, but I think they were too late. Mowing and weed whacking and such. So yeah, so that's what they've been doing. So I'm just gonna pull in my vintage photo here a little bit, and you can see it really does mimic the edging that Nanine has on this paper. Nanine or Tania, I'm not sure which paper. This is actually from there's Sage and Willow, or Willow and Sage. I'm not sure which one comes first in the name, but it's actually from that kit. There's a couple of them. This one as well, I think, was from their Willow and Sage, or Sage and Willow. And yeah, and then I've got things that have come from their other newer accessory kits to Memories of the Meadow. That is also, parts of those are also in here. So this is a little lighter now, so now I'm gonna have to go around and make it darker. There we go. All right, let's get the back. I'm not sure if I got the back on this one. I did. Okay. I'm getting all those little things. Obviously, I'm not over my garbage can. So anyhow, so yes, July has come. Over the 4th of July weekend, there was some fireworks going on around, and for the one set, and I'm not sure who was doing them. I don't know if they were a town or a neighborhood, just, I don't know, because fireworks here are in Pennsylvania are legal. All right, I'm gonna put him on. I just don't know what else I'm gonna do. I'm looking here. Ooh, 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 ooh. How about that? Got this under these papers, my little tray here. Yeah. All right. Let's ink this guy up. So anyway, I'm going backwards now. well, let me finish about the fireworks. You could see them from my yard, but they were kind of impeded by the tree that's in my, diagonally across from me and my neighbor behind me, their yard. But when you go upstairs and into the main bathroom, and you open the window, I saw them beautifully. So I'm sitting on the edge of the tub with my phone and I'm taking pictures, but the color wasn't really showing up that well. And yeah, I think I'm good with that. So let's just try to put this in. So then as they were doing the finale, I for about 49 seconds, I think it was, I filmed it, I videotaped it, and came out really nice. You could see the colors and it was really nice. So I watched them from my bathroom window. But I've got a good view of the whole area from my bathroom window, which is really nice. So, but otherwise, okay, so we're gonna put him there. Let's just, I'm just tucking him in over here to make sure that, yeah, he's good. Okay. So anyway, so that was that. So that was fun. So now to backtrack again, what I was going to try to say was I came up with this idea in some cases, maybe not all, but in some cases of matching the tag to the pocket using the same paper like I'm doing here, and then just adding something on it, because not all the patterns seem for me to go together. Some do, but then I'm not sure what to do with some of the others. And like I said, this is a good exercise for me because I'm not good at that. I had a brand new one. There it is. So it's good for me to step out of my comfort zone and do stuff like that. So I kind of get in this one-track mind about how it's supposed to look, and I don't think outside the box enough sometimes. So depending. So anyway, that's that one. So let's bring this back. That's gonna go down here like that. And I think I'm gonna find that lace if I can. Let me see. Let me see. Is that this one? I believe it is. Okay, oops. Get my little pin out there. And that, yeah, you know, I like that. You know, I think I'll do it over here. Oh, I like that. Okay. Okay, so let's start with this little puppy on this side. I think I like that idea. And we'll put some glue here. Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this one on here. Like so. Righty. We'll get this cut. Good. All right, so that's that one, like that. Then this one here, like so. I think my husband is in the mood for steak today. He's been talking about getting steak all week, putting it on the grill. Now, I'm not a big red meat eater, and I think a few weeks back, and I'm not sure if that had happened when I was kind of away from my craft area and not getting the opportunity to craft too much, but I was having some digestive issues that were bothering me. And I really was attributing it, I think, because what was different was I usually am very careful about monitoring how much red meat I eat because I don't do well with it. and I don't digest it well. And we were having a lot of hamburger and pasta sauce, you know, with ground beef in it, bolognese and things like that, and pot roast and stuff, and it's like, oh golly. And I was just starting to have some real trouble, and it lasted quite a while. So I wasn't happy with that. All right, so I'm trying to stay away from it now, be a good girl. Yeah, I like that. I think that looks really pretty. I'm very happy with that. Very happy. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, let's flip this. Here, same thing. Thinking about doing a tag in here. For this one, using the blue butterfly, and I'm not sure where. Because of the blue, I wanted to pick the blue up. So, let's go ahead. Let me see, what time do I have here? All right, I think I'm still filming. A little thing came up, but I think I'm still filming at 30 minutes. Okay. All right, let's try to trim this. This one I haven't thought out quite as well, so I may go back and add, you know, butterflies on them or something on labels or something. I don't know. You never know with me until I finally do the flip through. The flip through for me is like, that's it. You're cut off. You can't make any more changes. You can fix things if something has come undone or something like that, but no more changes. You're done. You are done. So that's usually what I do. So, like I said, you never know. You never know how I'm gonna fly with these things. All right. So I am thinking for this one, I can put that back over there. You can see I have a little edge there. All right, how far down? All right, so I'm gonna go to the top of this little brown piece, which was part of a flower or something. I'm gonna cut that across. And then I'm going to see. So these are just sort of going to be process videos, I guess, with me when I actually have a few minutes to sit and get some stuff done. Okay, and then how deep? Maybe just a little out there, so we'll go. So this is how I measure things. I don't necessarily measure with a ruler. I measure by how I think it'll fit. So I'm not always so good with this. I'm just gonna come in and take this little edge right there. Okay, that little bit of white that was showing. Okay, and there's my pencil mark right there. Okay. All right. And put that one over there. All right. Now, I'm thinking with this one, I don't know. I don't know. This one's a little smaller. I'm trying to decide where I think. do I have? This one is, but I like the more intense, I think. I don't like that one as much. Okay. Trying to turn them all right side up so I can see what I've got here. Come on. No, okay. No, I do like the blue. All right, the question is where, and what am I going to do with this? I don't know. I don't know. Do I want it on here? Maybe I just want it on the card. I think maybe I want it on the card. Okay, let's have a look. See what else I have over here that I can put on here. I like that with that. Okay, I think I like that. I forget who it is who always says don't overthink it. It's probably more than one person. I think Gail Augustinelli is one of them who says don't overthink it, just do it. But I'm pretty sure there's a few other people that I've watched that say kind of the same thing. So these, for some reason, I cut out with a white edge. Don't usually do that, but I usually cut things out right to the color, you know, to the piece itself, and I don't leave that white edge, especially on something like a butterfly, and especially on something like a big butterfly. But sometimes I have noticed that when you have a very busy background, you're putting the butterfly on, it sort of will blend in if you don't leave that edge. So I like that. I have That might be a thought. These are actually for slotted pockets, but I kind of like the heavier one. And I'm thinking maybe I could ink them. Just cut this part off. Put on just what I need. It's an idea. All right, let's see. Let's put this on. I still have to back it, but I can do that later. I can do the decorating now. Back them off camera so it doesn't take a lot of time. All right. But I think I may do that. I'm gonna put that there. Yeah, I'm gonna put that, even though it says Paris, I'm still gonna put it on there. Okay, we get this. Put this on. And I'm going to cut, and I'm trying to think, the only real ink that I have, in an ink pad, I do have some blue, but I don't know. I don't know if I would like it. I'm not a blue person, so I don't get a lot of blue stuff. I'm not sure how this is going to want to look. So let me grab up here. Let me just grab this scrap. And let me come over here. Okay, I have Stormy Sky. I have Faded Jeans. I have weathered wood. Looking. I don't think I have anything else. Then I have dark green. I have this old paper. And then somewhere, oh, I think it's out already. I have, here's the old one, the sage, bundled sage. So what I'm gonna just do is I'm just gonna take one of these little wipes and I'm gonna put that color down there. That's good. Okay, so that, I'm looking at this compared to the greens that are in there. Okay. I don't know. That's the stormy sky. Okay. I think this is going to probably be too dark, the faded jeans, but let's see. It's pretty close to the same thing, oddly enough. Okay, and then weathered wood. No, not the weathered wood for sure. Okay, let's put that one back. The question is, do I want to do blue up here or do I want to do green? I am leaning towards the blue. And I'm leaning towards this one, which was the stormy sky. So, okay, let's see what happens. Okay, if I put them in there, I won't be able to close it. All right, I am going to need, I think, a new, oh, there's a blue one. Okay, I thought I might need a new one there, but all right, let's see. Let's see what we can do here and see what I think. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and ink this up. I should have inked this on another place and I could have used the thing as a stencil. Oh well. Okay. I know I have to cut it off back here someplace, so. Go over it once. All right. And then I think I've got to go just past this, but I'm not sure. Okay. And do something to put my inks, my colored inks to use. Okay. I like the softness of it. Okay. All right. I think that would probably be okay. I'm gonna snip this here just to get rid of that part. Okay. And then I'm just checking to see how high I've got. That's good. All right. And I just have to decide where it's going to go. Okay. Right about there, which means I'm going to need a little bit more ink on this side, which is fine. I can do that. All right. Get some more ink right down there. All right. I'm going to glue it. Okay. Right along the edge here. A little far down because I don't want it sticking up too far because they're kind of fragile, I think. So we'll put that down there. We're going to line up my pencil marks. Okay. I'm going to go to the back and make sure I am even. This doesn't appear to be even because it's not even. I see that now. I see where I am. Okay, I was a little off center. All right, so there we go with that. That's why I always turn it over, because I get a better idea with these. Now, I haven't backed this yet, so it's very possible when I do, I'll back all the way up to here. I may not, I may leave it open. Okay, so I'm going to try to get rid of that pencil mark now that it's under the ink. Okay, that's still plenty good. And we'll just go here. We'll go here. Get that little nipper off there. All right. And I was a little bit off, so I've got this piece right there. But I will go back and fix that. Let me get rid of this before I make a mess. Okay. And then that will go in there like that. I like it. Just have to ink around the edges of this. I may do something more to it. I do still have to back this. So I don't know at this point if I'll put anything else on it. Like I said, I'll do the backing off off camera, but for right now we're going to put that kind of like I'm hanging out a little bit. You can see that's good. Okay. All right, now I think this was the last one. All right, oh no, I had this one. Now all I'm gonna do with this, I already did this, I cut this down. And this, if I push it down, it would go all the way in, but what I'm gonna do is put a tab on this, and the tab will allow you to open, and then this will flip down and you'll have writing space in there. So that'll go there like that. So that's what that'll be. So not a big deal for that one. This one, I'm gonna do the same idea that I did with the other ones. Let me put this up, and then that I'm gonna try to see if I can finish that one for you, even if I don't back it. And that'll get that done. So, okay, get rid of these guys. All right, I need this one, and I do need to close this drawer a little bit. I have got to clean up. I'm trying. I am trying. I don't do too well. All right. All right, get rid of that. And again, I'm sorry if I'm shaking the table when I use these cutters because my camera stand thing is attached to the table. So I do have issues with that. Probably won't get a really good setup until I get to my retirement because I move so frequently and I never know where I'm actually gonna be. So now this is a belly band. So it will come out the back a little bit. I don't want it to come over too far. So I'm thinking I would like, okay. All right, I think I'll be good here. And I do want to trim here. Okay. Let's see what we have. Let's see what we have. Okay. So, put that here. Alrighty. And then this one, go there. All right, we'll put that there. All right. And then, okay, I think we'll cut it from, trying to find my pencil. Okay, we're gonna try from there. I saw a butterfly that maybe I'll use on that. Okay. All right, so that'd be a pretty decent sized journaling card for here. And this has got, I should do something about that. So you really do have to raise this up. And I am putting in just paper here, so it's kind of being difficult. But I have, that lace is actually, this is 2 pieces of paper, and I have the lace open in the middle. But I do like it with the white. I do like that. I think I see kind of a little shading on some of them, so I'm gonna go back. It's not really shading, it's like a little design, but I think I'm gonna do that. Not all of it, but just that little bit. Okay, and then let's see if I put this back in here. This will be much easier once I get a backing on it. Now I saw, I'm wondering if I just want to back him onto some card and attach him and just sort of like, you know, I like it. I do. I think that's what I'm going to do. I am going to back him onto this is something from a packaging from something. It looks like, I don't remember this. Decorative stencil. This paper is beautiful. I'm not going to use it to back something. Okay. Let's see. All right. This is file. Oh no, it's not. This is actually from a piece of scrapbook paper. That's what that is. Okay. Okay. And you know, I had been feeling, because between my back and my stomach issue and work, always work, right? I had really been feeling like I couldn't think. I had really lost my mojo, as they say. And I didn't know what to do, you know? I was really kind of stumped and stuck, and I didn't know what to do. So, so that being, I'm trying to get rid of the ink so I don't, it shouldn't anyway, but, so yeah, so that being said, I'm trying, with his antenna hanging off, I'm wondering what I want to do to keep that more stable. So I'm trying to think what I'd like to do with that. So anyway, yeah, so I really was feeling very uncreative. I was, you know, dealing with the pain of my back issue. And oh, I did go, I think I told you guys that I had had the x-ray, the first x-ray done, and maybe I didn't. I don't know. But I got glue all over my fingers. I did have the x-ray done. I went to, the chiropractor several times, and I was feeling better, but something was obviously not right. This was like the worst, the longest lasting, I should say, that issue that I had with my back. So I did go to my primary care and tell him, and he ordered an x-ray, which I went and had done. And then with the results of the x-ray, he wanted me to go to a neurosurgeon for a second opinion. So they called, the neurosurgeon's office did, and they asked if I had any other imaging done besides that x-ray, and I said no, that was all I had. And she said, well, you're not going to be able to see the neurosurgeon until you have some additional imaging done. So she goes, but you have to come see them to get the recommendation for what they want. I'm like, okay, fine. So off I go to the neurosurgeon. I see a nurse practitioner or something, and she orders an MRI and another x-ray, which would be what would be called a lateral x-ray. It was taken from the side, and I had to bend forward and I had to bend backwards, which without holding on, which was not fun. Needless to say, because I don't bend well either way anymore, nor do I twist well from side to side anymore. So anyway, so I had the MRI and the x-ray done, and then I had to call the neurosurgeon back to make an appointment to be seen now by the neurosurgeon. So I am going this Thursday coming, which I think is July 13th. And yeah, so we'll see what he says. But I'm thinking, from what I can tell from the results of the reports, I'm mild to moderate with most things. So I'm thinking he is going to say no surgery. Now, what his plan of action would be for me, I don't know. Okay, now this is what I was thinking while I was doing this. I got some new lace here, and I'm wondering if I can, not sure that which side is the right one. I'm wondering if I can build a sort of card for him to be on with the lace. I don't know if I really want that, but like, this is what I'm concerned about. That's what I'm concerned about. I don't know. I really like that idea. You know what I was thinking I could do, but I don't have another one of these, and God only knows where they are, what they're under in my computer. If I had a second one, I could cut and put this part of the wing here, and then, you know, put the butterfly, the rest of the butterfly here. So when the card is in, that wouldn't have worked either, would it? No. I think what I was thinking was put him down here, and then put the other part of the wing up here. But that doesn't make any sense either. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. I really like that. The only other thing I can think of is to just cut off the antenna. I could leave them on and see what happens. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna see what happens. Okay, let me get my ink here. Again, I have no clue what I am going to do with, and I'm not gonna ink like heavy, just some. I have no clue what I'm gonna do with the tag itself at this point. This is my process, guys. Okay, so I am thinking here. I'm gonna go in a little further, I think. So, excuse me while I try to line this up. All right, I think that would be okay. All right, and let me get something to put under here. Okay. All right, good. Okay. And then that will go under here. When I get the card in, it'll work better. My card on. I do like that. I just don't know what to do with it. I think I may go ahead, put that lace down here, and then I'm not sure what to do with the card, but let me see. Okay, oh my gosh. All right, we're at an hour and something, so I think we're gonna stop here for that. But anyway, thanks for being with me today while I try to get caught up on this and get this thing finished. I am so overdue with it, but I can't do the cover, which I'm anxious to do, until I get this done, so I know how thick to make the spines. So anyway, that is going to be it for today, guys. So thanks for joining me, and be safe, be happy, and be blessed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.